Hey, this is Premier Guitar, John Bollinger, bringing you the new Oceans 12 by Electro-Harmonix. Before I tell you about this very cool pedal, take a second and subscribe below. Thank you very much. That way you'll be up to date on all this guitar geekery we've got coming your way. Okay, so the Oceans 12 is the next step from the Oceans 11. I've got the Oceans 11. I loved it because it gave me a ton of different sounds in one tiny little box. But what they've done here is they've really expanded it, and to me it's much more complex than the original and gives you a lot more studio options. And the expression pedal out is fabulous. So let me just tell you the basics. So the Ocean 12 has two simultaneous independent stereo reverb engines. They can be used in series or parallel depending on the control modes. There's 24 presets. There are stereo in, stereo outs, and an expression pedal out that's fantastic. There is a tide control that can alter your stereo imaging. There's a lo-fi control for adding texture and different attenuation controls. There's tails, which you can decide with this button right here if you want it to end when you turn off the pedal or keep it rolling when you turn it off. Let me just tell you about how I'm recording it. This is my cryotone, and I'm just running it direct in to the Oceans 12. The Oceans 12 is being powered by its own proprietary power, and that's running into a Fender Deluxe Tone Master Reverb, mic'd with a Shure SM57 and then going into a UA Apollo Twin. So just basically guitar, pedal, amp, Pro Tools. And here's my bass tone. Nothing wrong with that, but it gets way more interesting when we're introducing this reverb. So the Oceans 12 gives you 12 different reverbs, and it gets everything from kind of the more subtle to the very complex. And we'll kind of run through them right now. I came in on the mod setting, which has 3 different modes, but it combines chorusing and flanging and reverbs, and it's just really a rich tone. And what's cool with the expression pedal that I'm using right here, you can determine, you can set the different parameters. So you can, if you don't have this button engaged, then the expression pedal is merely a volume pedal, which is cool in and of itself. But when you engage it, you can then control the parameters that you want. Say you want to get into some infinite. Right there with a touch of a button using the expression, you can dial in whatever you want. So that's the mod, but we've got 11 others to get to, so let's get to them. I'm going to start at the top, which is their room sound. There's 2 modes, but let me just show you what I got right here. Now you can save whatever you dial in really easily. Find what you want. When you get it there, and again, people can tweak this for hours. I'm just doing it quickly. Say you're like, okay, that's my convincing room. Then you push this button right here, and voila, you're saved. Cool, right? Let's go on to the next one. Next one is our spring, and it sounds convincing. There are two modes, but it's basically, it's going after that 1962 Fender tube reverb emulation. I love that. Just that sound right there is enough. See, we want a little wetter, a little bit more of that slap. Cool, right? Very convincing Fendery tone. Next we've got a plate. Just gives you a smooth plate reverb. A couple modes on that. Now let's get to the warm, and they get progressively weirder as you go down the list. So now we're kind of getting into the more experimental. This is the reverse mode. Now this one, I particularly like the expression pedal when you get into the more experimental stuff, because you can go from the more subtle and then feather it in as you see fit. Cool, right? Okay, next is the echo, and I really dig this because you got a tap you can use right here. Right here, there's a little blue light, which is tiny. You probably can't see it. I can barely see it. But you can tap in wherever you want. And then, if that's not enough, right up here you can determine if you want it to be quarter notes or a dotted thing or a... So let's see what this does. I love that, and I love the fact that you can save it and just kind of you dial in the tone you want, and in the heat of battles, tap in the tempo you're feeling, and have that expression, use the expression pedal to bring it in and out as you like. So very cool setting. Next we have the tremolo, which on my Oceans 11 on my board, I use this tremolo all the time because the combination of the tremolo with the verb is just rich. I love that. That's a really convincing tremolo. I've recently reviewed a lot of tremolos, so I think this one holds up. And it's amazing that this is just one little extra added feature. Next, we've got the mod, which I already went through, which is cool, so we don't need to hit that again. Let's go down to the dynamic. Okay, there's 3 dynamic experimental reverb algorithms. Gives you a swell or a duck or a gate. Now you're just swelling into it using the volume. I love that. Just a great experimental tone. So next, getting more experimental, is the Auto Infinite. So. So you can hit a note, put your expression pedal all the way down, go make a sandwich, come back, it's still ringing. Below that we have the Shimmer, which gives you this rich octave shifted reverb. Almost kind of organy, right? So here's where this is such a cool studio tool. Tones like that, I'm probably not going to use on a lot of gigs, but in the studio when you need to find some weird thing, it's great to have that in there. So I like the fact that it's got all these utilitarian sounds, but there's these Easter egg of weird sounds in there too. Okay, the polyphonic is the next one. Keeping with the weird. Okay, the last one is the Resonant, which is a reverb excited by a tunable resonator and a configurable self-oscillation filter. So kind of, let's just see what this does. So you've got these 12 great reverb options. What would make it more interesting? If you could combine two of them, which you can. So right here indicates which is your, you've got an A and a B right there. So dial in what you want for your A. I'm going to go with this mod. And then let's add something to it, like say that spring. So all in all, Electro-Harmonix, ever since I was a little kid, they've been bringing us these kind of amazing, inventive pedals, and there's no end in sight. I love what they're doing here, and I love that they took this little Oceans 11, which is a very pragmatic pedal and then turn it into so much more. So to read the full written review, go to premierguitar.com. While you're online, make sure you like us on Facebook, subscribe to our Instagram, all that stuff. Maybe stop by the old PG site and buy a shirt like this. I know I did. This is John Bolger. Till next time.